Here on the OCU Athletics Update, we're talking to Delaware Resource Group Superstar Athlete of the Week, Alexandre Taiar, junior soccer player from Sao Paulo, Brazil, who has been a reliable scorer for the men's soccer team this year. And Alex, your penalty kick was the difference in the game against Southwestern Assemblies of God. Take us through that penalty kick.
So I'm a defender, but I actually really like going forward. And Juan and I, we've been playing for like a couple years now together. So we have good combinations. And I was fortunate enough to get a pass inside the box, inside the 18, and being fouled. So against John Brown, I was also fouled in the box, but I wasn't fortunate enough to take the PK because I was out off the field because I hit my head. But this time, I was able to kick it and convert it. And I always like changing sides every PK I take. So this time, I went to my left. I ended up scoring. I almost missed it, actually. But the keeper had a hand on it, but it went in, and that was enough for us to win against OCU.
How prolific is this team? Several players on the team, including yourself, capable of scoring goals.
Well, that's a good point because last year we had only a few scorers, and this year we have more, I would say, more options to get to the back of the net, and we have a lot more goals actually than the last season, and so far it's been great for us because the other teams, they cannot predict where the goal is coming from.
You talked about how much more prolific it is this year. You've already matched this last year's win total this season. Talk about what's gone into this team's turnaround.
Actually, it's a good point because we always talk about it. And I'd say it's just experience because we actually have all the starters from last year. All the starters came back, and we were able to improve over the summer. Some of us played summer leagues. Some of us went back home, like the German, like Henrik and Fabian. They went back home and played. They prepared themselves. Also, we had a good. I would say that the summer preparation was a lot better, and plus the experience. So we're a lot better team than last year's team.
You came here from Brazil. Your English is very good. Talk about how you learned English.
Well, in Brazil, it's actually mandatory from first grade all the way through high school, and take English classes. But you can also attend private lessons apart from school. So that's what I did. But once I stopped playing soccer, on the club soccer, I'd say, and I moved to California to study English, take the TOEFL test, take the SAT, and I was there for a couple months. It was a great time, and I made my grade, the TOEFL grade, SAT grade, and then I had the chance to go back home, prepare all the paperwork, and then come to OCU and start my college life, I would say, and soccer.
So you're required to take English from first grade on. Why is that important in Brazil?
Well, I would say because we're the only country in South America that speaks Portuguese. So every other country speaks the main language is Spanish. So I'd say that's very good for us to speak Portuguese. We also take Spanish actually, but it's not as big as English. So we're capable of having 3 languages: Portuguese, Spanish, and English. So that's a very good thing about the Brazilian education system.
And what's your major here at OCU?
I'm a marketing major.
So what career goals do you have following soccer?
Well, after graduating, I really want to play professionally if am I fortunate enough. But I want to work in a sports industry like Nike, Adidas, or something like that, because I really want to stay in touch with soccer.
All right, we're talking to Delaware Resource Group Superstar Athlete of the Week, Alexandre Taiar. You can follow the stars on OCUsports.com.
There's a call to be answered. The spirit of competition is still alive inside. The desire still drives. The phrase student athlete has a great ring to it. Lasting friendships are ready to be made. You just want to keep playing. Game on. Learn more at naia.org.
Here on the OCU Athletics Update, we're talking to women's wrestling coach Matt Stevens. The Stars opened the season at the Midland Open. And Coach, you returned 9 All-Americans, 2 national champions. What kind of advantage does returning that kind of experience do for your team?
Well, it's really great having that much in the room and having the ability to tell people that we're returning 9 All-Americans. It's a good problem to have when you have freshmen coming in battling for spots, and just being consistent year in, year out with that type of number of quality athletes coming back to OCU is great, and we're glad to have it. So,
your 2 returning national champions are Natalia Hinaho and Becca Leathers. What kind of summers have those 2 had?
Well, they've kind of had varying different summers. Becca's kind of on a path for the next quad of becoming an Olympian in 2020. She spent the summer down in Rio being a training partner for one of the Olympians, Haley Aguelo. Natalia Hinaho, she wrestled at Olympics, went Olympic trials, went 2-2. Did a whole lot of training, coaching Team Texas and doing other things throughout the summer. So a little different paths, but hopefully have the same results in the long run.
You mentioned your incoming freshman class. Tell us about some of those and what kind of competition's going on right now.
Well, we have 6 incoming freshmen this year. We're real excited, going through all of them. We have Marissa Gregor coming in at 101 from us from Pennsylvania. Coming in at 109 for us will be Soraya Jones. She's from Modesto, California. We're real excited about her. Multiple-time world team member, multiple-time national champion. Kaylin Ramos, a freshman out of Prague, Oklahoma. So we're kind of adding to our Oklahoma regime of girls, fortunate enough to keep having those around, and we're excited to have her. Then, we kind of go up a little bit. Abby Manzier, she's a state champ out of Tennessee. I believe is the first wrestler we've had from Tennessee before, so it's kind of exciting. And then we also have Rachel Waters coming in. Real excited to have her. She's, I was talking to little people earlier. She's won multiple national titles up around the 10, 11, 12 area, 2-time junior world team member, 1 match away from placing this last summer. So we're real excited to have her. And then last but not least, Brianna Holcomb from El Paso, Texas. She's going to probably round out our 136-pound weight class very well this year, really coming in good shape and ready to go. So.
You've also gotten started on the recruiting class for next year. What can you tell us about that group?
Well, we've already signed 7 girls, the most recent one being Mariah Lomas out of Amarillo, Texas. It's a really good group of people. We're looking at good student athletes, and they're everything that we're looking for OCU. One of them, she's from Idaho, Sierra Foster. She went down to Cadet Pan Ams and was outstanding wrestler this last summer, and Aaron Redford and multiple of them are All-Americans and national champs. So it's going to be a really good incoming freshman class for 2017.
You spent a couple of years as an assistant here before getting the head coaching job. How do you think those years prepared you for the head job?
Well, the previous coach here was pretty good about letting me be really hands-on with the team and doing a lot of the planning and practices and things that we needed to do. And I would kind of just hit the ground running. Didn't really change too much that we were doing, just a little bit of philosophy here and there, and the way that we handle things on a day-to-day basis are a little bit different. But known the girls for 2 years already, so it made it a real easy transition coming in.
What do you feel like has shaped your coaching philosophy?
Well, my dad was a coach, and I obviously am a coach now, but just understand that each individual needs to be treated a little bit differently. And I was obviously different than other athletes that were on my teams growing up and through the years and through different ranks that I wrestled at. But knowing that we got to handle every situation a little bit different, and knowing that the end result's more important than the immediate result. So constantly learning, constantly getting better, and national tournaments where you got to peak, and trials and different things like that.
Another new addition to the program is a new wrestling room this year. Tell us about that and what kind of impact it's had on the program.
Well, it's been really great. We've been in there for about 6 weeks now. The men really just started last week in there, so we're really excited to have it. Kudos to President Henry for really kind of stepping up and finding us a new facility. Our old one was just not big enough for the level that we have come to grow, that we've grown to as a wrestling program. And, we've added probably about 170% the size of what our old one was. So, almost doubling the size of the old facility. New locker room spaces, new cardio spaces. So everything we have is top notch right now, and we're looking forward to it really helping our recruiting in the future and us just getting better every day.
All right, we're talking to women's wrestling coach Matt Stevens. You can follow the Stars on OCUsports.com.